All this different armor, you'd think they were just changing Thor's costume to sell toys. This week we're taking a look at Marvel Legends Thor. A 1500-year-old god goes through a midlife crisis and runs into his ex-girlfriend.
Jane?
In addition to dealing with his unresolved feelings for Jane, Thor also pines for his old hammer, which Jane now wields as the Mighty Thor.
Must be hard for you to see your ex-girlfriend and your ex-hammer hanging out and getting on so well.
You could call it a love triangle, but Stormbreaker is also in the mix, acting out in jealousy due to Thor's interest in his ex-hammer.
Stormbreaker, what are you doing? Is this about Mjolnir?
Neither Jane nor Thor will admit to still having feelings for each other. They're as stubborn as Abigail and Steve.
I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Go to hell, demon!
Articulation, bruh. Between his hair and his helmet, Thor is a spiky one, with what I believe is a ball and hinge. Yeah, okay, so it is a ball and hinge. And while we're putting the helmet back on, let's talk about that windswept hair. It looks good in action poses and gets out of the way better than most hair sculpts. But it does look strange when he's looking all the way down. Up is good, but you're not going to get him in any flying poses. The hair doesn't really impede the rotation, but you're not really getting any tilt. The ball joint doesn't give you a lot of movement, barely crunching forward. Leaning back he looks alright, but they didn't continue the sculpt, giving you a gap where there should be armor. He also leans as well as he crunches, and can do a full rotation on that same joint. And no way swivel. Ball and hinge at the shoulder does get you right around, but that shoulder pad does cause you to jut out a little bit. Bicep swivel. The top of the double jointed elbow does tend to get stuck, and although I'm not showing it here, there is a deep bend. Arms hinge up without any issue. Hands swivel and hinge up and down. The soft plastic doesn't hinder Thor from kicking forward, but if you leave it in that position for too long, it will warp the plastic. Kicks out that far. Upper thigh swivel. Double jointed knees. No boot swivel, but the feet hinge down, up, and rocks as hard as Fred Flintstone at work. Accessories! Does this purse go with my bra, brah? Thor comes with a gripping hand with the incorrect hinge, and a fisted hand for fist bumping, or bumping his fist into someone's face. The only other accessory is Stormbreaker. You might be asking yourself, hold on, Stormbreaker was one of the main characters in the movie. How is this not a 2-pack? Well, when looking at references from the movie, Stormbreaker scales very small.
I was in the pool! I was in the pool!
But it's not always about size, gentlemen. This gummy plastic makes Stormbreaker as stiff as a wet noodle. Now, I don't want to sit here and poop on this accessory, but it gets worse. They didn't even paint the axe like they did with Stormbreaker that came with Ravager Thor. Go sit yourself. This is as well as you can get Thor to sit with the cape hanging off the back. But the cape is part of the figure, and although the cape is softer than Thor's of the past, Thor cannot go sit himself. Holding the only good thing from the Korg Build-A-Figure, it's a Thor's R Us, with Marvel Legends Ravager Thor, Fat Thor from Endgame, and Thor from the Dark World. Next up, some of his fellow cast members, Marvel Legends Mighty Thor, Gore, and Valkyrie. Next up, we've got the world's mightiest with SH Figure Arts Black Widow, Marvel Legends Worthy Cap, and Iron Man with a donut.
Steak and donut sandwich, please.
You want cigarettes on that sandwich?
What do I look like, a Mary? Yes, I want cigarettes.
You get to pick your friends, but you don't get to pick your family. Here's Marvel Legends Hela, Loki, and Odin. Think unsexy thoughts. Think unsexy thoughts. The hair sculpt looks good in action poses, and gets out of the way better than most long-haired characters. It does look strange when articulating the head all the way down, but how much time does Thor spend wearing the helmet in the movie anyway? Even if you replace the cape with the soft goods one,
you can't get the arms to go straight up. If it sounds like I'm ragging on this release, it's cause I am. A right-handed Thor comes with a left-handed weapon summoning hand, not to mention the incorrect hinge on the right gripping hand. It's a shame a figure with such detailed sculpt is ruined by shortcuts and gummy plastic. The only saving grace for this costume is the unmasked head sculpt, and that comes with a completely different figure. Right up until the end of the review, I was finding QC issues. I liked the movie, but I would have skipped on Armored Thor.